Hey everyone, today I'm going to be talking about fault code P0206, injector circuit/open, cylinder 6. This is a fairly common code that can cause a number of problems, so I'm going to go over what it means, what can cause it, and how to fix it. I'll also be showing you how to diagnose the problem yourself using a few simple tools. So if you're having trouble with your car and you're seeing this code, be sure to check out this video. P0206 is a diagnostic trouble code, DTC, that indicates an issue with the fuel injector circuit for cylinder 6. This code can be triggered by a variety of factors, including a faulty injector, a wiring problem, or a problem with the engine control unit, ECU. There are several common causes of code P0206. These include faulty fuel injector. The most common cause of code P0206 is a faulty fuel injector. This can be caused by a clogged injector, a damaged injector, or an injector that is not properly seated. Wiring problem. A wiring problem can also cause code P0206. This can be caused by a damaged wire, a loose connection, or a corroded connector. Problem with the engine control unit, ECU. In some cases, code P0206 can be caused by a problem with the ECU. This is less common than the other causes, but it is still a possibility. The symptoms of code P0206 can vary depending on the underlying cause. However, some common symptoms include check engine light illumination, rough idle, misfire, loss of power, increased fuel consumption. If you are experiencing the symptoms of code P0206, it is important to have the code diagnosed by a qualified mechanic. The mechanic will use a diagnostic scanner to retrieve the code from the ECU. They will then use this information to diagnose the underlying cause of the code. The repair for code P0206 will vary depending on the underlying cause. However, some common repairs include replacing the faulty fuel injector, repairing the wiring problem, replacing the ECU. It is important to note that repairing code P0206 can be a complex process. It is recommended that you have the repair performed by a qualified mechanic. Here are some additional resources that you may find helpful. P0206 code definition, P0206 code symptoms, P0206 code causes. The most common symptom of code P0206 is a rough idle. This is because the injector for cylinder 6 is not working properly, which means that the engine is not getting enough fuel. Other symptoms may include a loss of power, a misfire, a check engine light. There are a few ways to diagnose code P0206. The first is to use a scan tool to read the trouble codes from the engine control unit, ECU. The scan tool will tell you which cylinder is misfiring, and it may also give you some information about the cause of the misfire. Another way to diagnose code P0206 is to perform a visual inspection of the injector for cylinder 6. Look for any signs of damage, such as cracks or leaks. You can also check the wiring harness for the injector to make sure that it is not damaged or loose. If you are not comfortable diagnosing the problem yourself, you can take your car to a mechanic. The mechanic will be able to diagnose the problem and recommend the best course of action. The most common way to repair code P0206 is to replace the injector for cylinder 6. However, there are a few other things that you can try first. One thing you can try is to clean the injector. You can do this by using a fuel injector cleaner or by taking the injector out and cleaning it with a solvent. Another thing you can try is to check the wiring harness for the injector. Make sure that it is not damaged or loose. If the wiring harness is damaged, you will need to replace it. If you have tried all of these things and the problem is still not fixed, then you will need to replace the injector for cylinder 6.